Welcome to the history of CAT. So today we solve a problem which appeared in CAT 2020 and it is from the chapter of time, speed and distance and specifically from the topic of trains. So let's understand what is given here. A train travelled at 1/3 of its usual speed and hence reached the destination 30 minutes after the scheduled time. So what can you say from this? Let's say if the speed of the train was s, it was able to reach on the scheduled time of t. But now what has happened? The speed of the train has reduced by 1/3. So it is travelling at 1/3 of its usual speed. So what will be the time required to reach the destination? Time will be thrice now, right? If initially it was t, the time required, now the time required will be 3t. Okay, and that is quite understandable here. So what from this? It reached the destination 30 minutes late after the scheduled time. Okay, so what is the late here? Initially it was reaching at t, now it is reaching at 3t. So the late here is 2t and this 2t is equals to given to me as 30 minutes. So t is equals to what then? T is equals to 15 minutes, which means 15 minutes is the time required by the train to travel from source to the destination. This time is equals to 15 minutes. It can travel the entire distance and let this distance be equal to d. Okay, so it can travel d distance in 15 minutes. Now what has happened? The speed has reduced by 1/3, so the time is 3t. Okay, so now the time required is 45 minutes just because the speed has become 1/3. Okay, that's what is being given here. So 30 minutes comes from this. What after this? On its return journey, the train initially travelled at its usual speed for 5 minutes. Okay, so what is happening now? Train has reached the destination on its return journey. So from here till here, say it travels with its usual speed for 5 minutes. So in 15 minutes it can cover the entire distance. In 5 minutes it will cover what? It will cover 1/3 of the distance, right? So if the total distance is d, it will cover d by 3 from here. So the remaining distance will be what? 2/3 of the total distance is still remaining to be traveled by the train. Okay, that's what we write it here now. So 2/3 of d is still remaining to be traveled. 1/3 is being already traveled. Okay, what after that? Then it stopped for 4 minutes. Okay, so after traveling for 5 minutes where it traveled d by 3 of the distance, it stopped here. This was the stop, this red is the stop. It stopped here for 4 minutes. Okay, what is being asked now? The percentage by which the train must now increase its usual speed so as to reach the destination at the scheduled time. So till here, what was the speed of the train? S, right? Because it was traveling with its usual speed of S. But now what has happened? If it would have traveled without stopping, it would have covered the remaining distance in what time? 10 minutes. Right, because the total time taken to travel this entire distance is 15 minutes. So if it would have not stopped for an emergency of 4 minutes, it would have traveled the remaining distance in 10 minutes. Now what is happening? It has stopped here for 4 minutes. So it has to travel this remaining distance not in 10 minutes, in 6 minutes. So what the train was earlier supposed to cover in 10 minutes, now the train has to cover it in 6 minutes. Okay, so what you can say? The time has reduced from 10 to 6. Okay, so the speed has to be increased by what? So initially the speed was s. Okay, now the speed has to be what? It has to be 10 by 6 of the s. Okay, which is your earlier speed. So if the earlier the speed was s, now it has to be this. Okay, in case you are wondering how did I write this, so take an assumption. If the earlier it could have covered it in 20 minutes, say, now it is covering it in 10 minutes. So if earlier the speed was s, what will be the speed now? The time has reduced by half. So the speed should be double, right? So how will you get this to 20 divided by 10? That's how you will get this to. That's what I had done it here. This divided by this. This is your 20 here and this is your 10. So 10 divided by 6 of s. That is how you increase your speed. Now just calculate this. 2 5s are 10, 2 3s are 6. Okay, so initially say it was S, now it has become 5 by 3 of S. So you can think in this way. Initially it was 3 by 3, that is 1. Now it has become 5 by 3. So increased by what? Increased by 2. Increased by 2 over 3. Okay, 2 is what percent of increased by 2 over 3, which is, or else you can take it in a simple way. This is 5, so this is 2 by 3, which is nothing but 66.66%. Okay, which is nothing but your option number B. So the speed has to be increased by 67% so as to reach the destination on the scheduled time.